frag out anymore. He's going to be more of a supportive player with Stanislaw.
Yeah, I would definitely expect him to be much more supportive. Slight, not necessarily the flashiest opera, but still can be the spearhead, still can be supportive. Jaba and Infinite, as you mentioned, very solid overall as a duo at the top of the board. I'm expecting them to have some very solid performances as we get into this matchup, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't really talk about the veto, but to give it away, it is Overpass is map 1, the pick of Wildcard. EG starting on the CT side. Map 2, the pick of EG. Of course, Mirage with Wildcard starting on the CT there. And Inferno left in the wings if required as a decider in the third and final.
Yeah, we start early for once in North America, so that's always a nice thing to see. And Wildcard on the T side, EG on the CT side. Double dual Berettas, no defuse kits for EG. George and Jr. on the dual elites. P250 raid boss for JBA. Flashbang smoke for Stan the Man. Walker with a flash of his own. And a very slow pistol round from Wildcard. They are anchored in Playground, T-Con, Bottom Con, and Outside Monster. And EG are not taking the bait here either. They're just circling, holding their lines. They're under a nice little bit of cover here in the river. Fallen tree. They're just hanging out. They're chilling. They're not going to be goaded out of this.
Nope, they'll wait. It's been a while since I saw even Forsaken play, but if I can recall correctly, they kind of were very, very liberal with the timer. They let it go down to the wire. They almost let it get away from them a couple times, if I recall correctly. So, assuming that their path is continued forward, I should expect more slow plays on this T side, but plays that are more measured and that don't go completely down to the wire. Finally, some contact towards A. 1 for Jaba, but 3 in response from George. We mentioned he was a supportive player, but he can't have moments like that with the dualies. Automatic looking to take off the final player in JBA. He's up towards bathrooms, and he's not there for much longer. Automatic flushes him down, and that's a quick pistol, an explosive pistol for EG once Wildcard finally got that ball rolling.
It was a very disciplined round from EG, and I think that's the main takeaway. Wildcard's whole strategy in that round was to push EG into these aggressive positions, hold the line, and then just take them out one by one, divide and conquer sort of scenario. But EG, they're fine holding. They've got solid aimers, they've got solid players, experienced players throughout the lineup now. And, well, George gets 3 on the dual Berettas and Con. There's not much you can do to counter that if you're Wildcard. No bomb plant, no buy. It's Glocks and a flashbang, and Walco can farm some cash here. 1 on the MP9. Goes for more 3. Cannot get 4 on the MP9, and actually will fall in the end. Just spam damage coming in through the spam wall. Hex does aggress for more. And slightly the last one standing. He'll go down to Hex running across. And that's some good money for EG. 1,800 and a 1,200 Walco and Hexed. And that is going to be the buy queue for Wildcard, but a very solid bonus round coming up from EG. Walco might not even invest too much here. Armor, pistol, maybe another SMG. Now he'll go for the rifle. M4A1 full utility. But everybody else, plenty of money, plenty of util. Junior still has that shotgun, the XM that's unrevealed. Stands on the AK, or the Galil rather, instead of the AK to get that extra belt.
Yeah, somebody liking a bit of utility on this Wildcard side. But again, the riflery should give them enough of an advantage. The question is, where is that shotgun playing, and will it be respected? It's towards long bathrooms, up close and an off angle. It's doubled up with automatic. I like this setup. Too often we see CT players playing in long bathrooms alone, and it's too difficult to get away. It often becomes a one and done. By duoing up like this with a shotgun to hold one side and the M4 on the other, it can really become a very potent overall defense, especially with George waiting in the wings as well. It's a heavy investment from EG towards A. It could very well pan out as Wildcard group up towards Sands.
Got the info, he's got the spray, he got 1.5 onto Stanislaw and JBA. Junior makes noise, and Infinite removes him as well from the equation. Automatic, holding deep, he's expecting Sonic in party, and he ruins the day for Sonic in this 3v3. Again, Stanislaw low at 53 HP. They do know where Automatic is, but he'll at least hit the jump onto what used to be the flowers. Now I guess it's just jump. He's going to drop down with a flank from Slight this time on the backside. It's all down to timing. Does Automatic make contact with Stan? The Slight pop from behind. It will be the ladder, and he'll go down. Hex and Walco coming in from jump up, pushing on through. Smoke will not really do much to hold the vision away from EG, but Infinite will add his hat trick. Hex stuck on truck will be carted out of here by Slight. that's a good round from Wildcard. That flank from Slight is really what saves the day for Wildcard, though, because Automatic would have had a free kill, presumably, onto the low HP Stanislaw, and then things would have snowballed out of control from there.
A kill onto Junior as well. He was running around with the auto shotty. Even with his position known, had that shot not been so clean from Infinite, he could have wreaked havoc. One, maybe even two, given the distance, but Infinite, crisp with his shots, crisp with his crosshair placement, seals his fate there. Wildcard onto the board very quickly with that first rifle round. 5 from EG, also less than ideal going into round 4. FAMAS, P250 for Walco. Is a 4-spy, but difficult one. That 4 players now stacked towards B. EG, it's a dynamic CT side, but will it work against the likes of a very slow and methodical Wildcard?
Nice nade stack onto Hext. He's down low. He'll probably try and offload that to Walco, the FAMAS in his hands, but will he even try and go for that or just hold the line steady here? Smoke out monster. Wildcard trying to get some pushes out of EG again, but you know,
just one of those to the lines. Done well. Did it in the pistol. Doing it again now. The best counter to Stanislaw's call style. Won't stop Walco though from going for an informational peek. Sonic finds one, albeit with taking damage. Hex to trade, but Infinite doubles down in response. Automatic in pit. Has to find the lot. Stay alive, will dodge them all. Actually over the top line too. Sonic finally does him in, but Junior is set in a solid position. In fact, it's over. They burn the clock too far down, and that's the round over in the blink of an eye. Not even a bomb plant attempted. Wildcard let that one slip by, and again, I mentioned it, they're slow, they're methodical, but sometimes rounds can get away from them.
Yeah, Automatic, that 2-kill presence on site is what essentially won the round for Evil Geniuses. Wildcard, no time to get that down. All Junior has to do is hide. He actually has 0 kills, but he has a 1v2 clutch. Wildcard are dictating the pace. Well, they're the ones that are finding themselves in a bit of a pickle now. 4-spy from them. Nice boost on site from Automatic. Infinite's ready for it, but if he had a Deagle, he probably gets that kill instead of the Tech 9. That kind of range, the Tech can be a little unwieldy. And so it's just a little bit of damage. Now the B utility comes in again from Wildcard, this time at 1:15. Hext only with 1. Still players on the site. There's the second from Hext. And a third as well before he inevitably falls. Walco still making himself a nuisance on site. Rotations are coming through, but George removed. Walco, you gotta expect Sonic there, and he actually gets bailed out by Junior. It's all up to Infinite now, 28 HP. Drive-by from Walco can do him in, but Infinite's brought it to the 1v1. One shot from each. Walco sprayed, does not get enough damage into the headshot. And a huge clutch up from Infinite to get this one back to the favor of Wildcard.
Good change of pace from Wildcard. It was expected by EG. They were set up to rebuke the take. They had the nade for short on the press, but still, Wildcard press out. They get the kills required. It gets awkward there for Infinite, but he's already emerging as an early star in map number 1. 9 kills to his name, and as you mentioned, a 1 versus 2 clutch on low HP to boot. EG. So spiraling back down. It's not necessarily a save. It's not a full buy either. Walco and George are low. Hex still has 1,600 in the bank. I guess it is a full buy. Maybe Hex is saving some in the bank to buy an op in the round after next. Regardless, buy is desperate, dire for the defense.
One kill, a gun picked up can turn the tide. It's definitely possible. There's the one opportunity though for Junior. It goes missing. That could have been something that throws a spanner in the works of the Wildcard offensive here. George taking taps with the USP, finds about as much success as Junior, actually a little bit more in terms of overall damage. But the end result is the same, 0 kills to the CT side as Utility goes into A. JBA running it up to Mac 10, swung on by Automatic and stand right there for the trade. Walco and Hex swing out wide, Sonic gets the last 2. And we're all tied up at 3 here at the halfway point of half number 1, I guess you could say the end of the first quarter. And we will not see a full buy from EG. Instead, Wildcard the golden opportunity to get a lead here for the first time on their map pick. The opening map of this closed qualifier for ESL Challenger Atlanta. EG just going to do some damage with some pistols because the Wildcard money is still not good.
Nope, they've reinvested heavily as well. They have an op on Slight, finally going to see a zoomed weapon on its aptly called playground of Overpass. That was a weapon that could take over in CSGO. And this one. Eagle for Junior finds nothing other than a boatload of damage. Wildcard should have this round under wraps unless something disastrous goes wrong. Automatic and Junior, the only two with upgraded weapons. Hex boosted up, might actually find Infinite. It's on an island in connector. He's not watching for this. A dink double. There we go. Hex finds an opening. No gun recovered, though, and Slight knows there's a second lurking in towards water. Walco can't go towards connector to get that rifle. Sonic lurked all the way out. B finds George. Be the round under wraps at this stage. No one can recover the rifle. They're being forced in by the utility. Slight finds another with the op. Third, likely onto Automatic. Junior does deliver a blow onto Sonic. At least some damage done, but this round is nigh impossible. The bomb migrates towards B. There's the shot. Slight, an opportunity to show off his opping prowess in CS2. And a round for Wildcard, which gives them the lead for the first time, I think, in this map overall.
Yeah. I mean, Junior finally gets an op in his hands. This is the first time we'll see it on the CT side. So now we can start to see a little bit more of an Opera's duel night. But one thing's for sure, EG have at least been getting damage done when they're losing rounds. Still 2 kills in that last round is not horrible, considering they invested almost nothing either. Junior's not going to have a very advanced position, though, just playing in Divider. JBA takes a little bit of tickle damage through the Molotov. He's down to 82. But overall, Wildcard are going back to their slow default from the looks of things, although they have picked up the pace considerably in these last several rounds, and it has worked out much better for them too. So maybe that adaptation coming in from Stanislaw, change of pace against EG, it's going to work out well. That slow play did not work against this regimented side, and Junior might actually just get a freebie on the JBA if he crosses Divider slow and steady. Utility will fly over. That's going to be some noise for Junior to hear. He'll see that. Meow, he knows exactly what's up. Up to lane, flash, but not dead. Finally goes down after that first one connects. Automatic swings out with just a peek. These rotations, he needs help. He does get one, but he's so low on health. He's blind as a bat. Being pushed in from fire, flames and long. Sonic long to do him in. Double flank from Khan. And George on truck. Try and hold out until the Autobot's can arrive. One for Slight. Sonic is low as well, but Slight picks up George through the edge of the smoke. Walco, silent, stealthy, spots out one. That's the bomb. Sonic knows where he is, but there's time now for Walco to move. Reposition. He does not have to push the issue here. The bomb rests down the stairs at his feet. Sonic is half HP. Now he knows Walco has the info. A smoke onto his position. He swings out wide, and Sonic hits the headshot he needed. Big clutch up from him. And Wildcard a 2-round lead now. After a streak of what I believe is 4 rounds in a row. Just gaining more and more momentum as we get to the later stages of half number 1.
They had enough money to reinvest as well. It was a costly round, but it was an important one to win. It sends the EG's economy spiraling once again towards a spot where it's unable to fully invest safely. Should give this attacking side a little bit more breathing room going into round number 9. Op of Slight already proving itself now. Skyrocketing to 1 kill behind Infinite at this stage. EG. They struggled to find a response to Wildcard's change of pace. It seems like they lost that 1 round at a time, and they decided they will never let that happen again. It's by attrition for a lost in the post plant. Never by time. Slight, an awkward duel. In fact, the duels for EG have worked thus far. 2 kills secured. It's finally back to even footing thanks to JBA, but 3 versus 3 with one of the riflers on 10 HP seems like a very desperate situation compared to what it could have been, or should have been, I dare say. 2 Deagles and a 5-7 remaining for the EG side. They have some interesting positions, but Wildcard shouldn't take any angles for granted.
Now they've got to clear their corners with due diligence. And now they're getting flanked on by Automatic, who just makes his presence known. Hit and fade. He runs away. Junior picks up a pair in bathrooms, so it's up to Sonic, and he's stomping. Junior's got it up. Oh, this is about worst case scenario for Wildcard right now. Junior, nice shot from Sonic. Hex will trade that back, and Op will be recovered for Junior. There's a big win for Evil Geniuses to get back into this one with that pistol round victory. But it still was not ideal there for the EG side. They could have made it a little bit cleaner. Probably not having Junior peek would have been a good thing. That's just nitpicking. The fact of the matter is they won a pistol buy. That was it. Wildcard, again, because of the casualties they've sustained, broke as a joke. An AK, a Galil, a Tech, a Mac, a Deeg, minimal utility. This is not a good sign for Wildcard here, as they're on the verge of a reset. Does literally nothing to Junior. Flashed off. At least they survived the initial contact.
Big bailout for EG. They can't afford to squander this. They need to come back into it. This is a CT-sided map by most metrics. Again, it's Infinite lurking alone in connector. Automatic trying to hold it. Yes, support from water, but they aren't forcing the issue. Maybe throwing a bit of utility over towards A, but there's no commitment as of yet. The bomb is still in T-spawn. Sure, there's a lean towards A, but it's just to get some control and force the CTs back into a more respectable setup.
There's the opener from Junior onto Slight. That's the AK removed. And the B congregation is ready to conga line out through Monster. A flash over top would do wonders for Wildcard. Gain them some space, maybe some guns. But it's Automatic to get flashed in. Doesn't matter. Sonic double dink with Mac 10. Swings out wide. Traded by Hex. Infinite doubles up though. The HP on Infinite and JBA so low. And George will come salvage things for a brief moment in time. As the bomb can cross, Junior has a nade. Toss it on sight. Junior, you stop the plant. And it goes down. The bomb falls. Molotov to ward off any further plants from Stan. He's in the smoke. He's safe for now. Spreads. It picks him. And now they have the information where exactly Stanislaw is hiding. There is no grass for the snake to hide. They know exactly where he is. The Deagle not doing any of the wallbang damage. Finally on the end of it. After the bomb goes down, Junior catches him. But there's a successful 5-5 scoreline for EG now. But it seems the team that wins the rounds takes a lot of casualties in doing so. So EG's economy this time is the one on a nice edge.
Yes, it is. Wildcard, though, they went for the force spy in the round prior. It means they can only get pistols and maybe some Kevlar now, unless they really want to force the issue. EG able to reinvest into full rifles, but the focus should be on keeping this round clean. Build up the economy for that last round if required. There's only 2 remaining at this stage. Reestablish some semblance of a lead in a 7-5 score, and that's the ideal at this point for EG. Wildcard, though, pistols tend to indicate maybe an aggressive play, a more quick play than we're used to seeing from this Wildcard attacking side.
Look at Junior's position up long, too. So aggressive against the pistols. A very dangerous spot to be. Alone. No help. He does get the opener. George now pops from Khan. Doubled up, but he gets dropped by JBA. Rifle picked up for him, but no armor. Hex is in water. Gets a lot of damage dealt onto the aforementioned T7 player. Junior's op goes missing. His Deagle doesn't connect either. He swaps back to the op for JBA. And Automatic there to back him up at long last. Lead restored for EG. 6-5 as we hit the last round of the first half. But it'll be a buy up here from Wildcard and a full buy and plenty of utility for EG. Should be equal broadsides in round number 12.
Near equal. We'll see if Slight goes for the op. He does. It's going to be a glass cannon in the final round of the first half. Stanislaw, only a Tech 9 as well, is a bit curious, but I'm sure he invested in something for the round prior to give them a shot in it. EG a slight edge going into the final round of this first half. They're looking to build that lead. As I mentioned, 7-5 would be ideal for them. Wildcard. How will they play their cards? 3 down below towards connector and water. They're going to get control rather quickly. JBA through the wall as well. Spams down 1. That is a good start for the attacking side, but they're not going to press off of that early advantage.
I like this call from Wildcard. They've been getting caught out by some of the refrags of EG. This time they're pushing EG into a situation where they have to peek. Good Molotov to try and force the Wildcard players into an open angle, but it'll just buy time for EG. Bomb to be recovered for Wildcard. Be stand to pick that up. And an 8 end from the looks of things, despite the lurk of Sonic. He's going to be that snake in the grass to make the noise and rattle the tail. Draw the attention of EG away from the primary objective. Automatic, the lone defender of the A side. Walko seeing nothing. Maybe you get a rotation back from Hext. That should signal rotations in surely. And Sonic's going to pop as they're running away. That's got to be the idea, right?
Yeah. Or customers are going up con. That flank did indeed almost pay off once or twice. Or there's a bit of an insurance bomb. Fall back in double 15. All 5 coming up short. Automatic, though. Over the top finds 2. Infinite trades, but it becomes far more recoverable. 3 versus 3. Junior, Hex, and Walko all towards B. Have a long rotation. They can't stop the plant. They can at least attempt the retake. Only 1 flash. There are kits at least. But they have a lot to do.
It's going to be dry fights. Dealing with the op first is going to be critical. Automatic somehow getting a double out of that. It's insane. That's massive for EG. It gives them something to work with. Slight posted up. He's that first man. Has backup from Sonic. There's Junior walking into the open. And Sonic peeks out from bathrooms. Infinite still not revealed himself yet. 1 onto Slight. Infinite can just hold his round over. It's GG. 6-6 is going to be the half scoreline as the bomb ticks down lower and lower. Walko is trying to bait out Sonic, who's won the round. It will be 6-all. And Sonic finishes up to boot. We'll see you guys on the other side.
Together, catch the sunsets, riding waves. We stay forever, where the rhythm never ends. 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 Where the rhythm never ends.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are all tied up 6 apiece. I'm Pineapple Phillips, joined by Boggs, and this has been a contentious matchup, to say the least. Both teams broken multiple times in that first half. Some stumbles from Wildcard that are a little bit worrying here and there. They let the time get away from them on a B execute, for example. For the most part, they are showing them their best selves. EG now on the attacking side of map number 1. They have Glocks, they have a Hero P250 on Junior, and they have an early stack towards Monster as a B play seems inevitable. Wildcard spread out across the map. There are 2 players here, one on the pillar, one at the Toxic Barrels. Question is, can they hold this off? Can they at least find 2? Sonic and Jaba. Jaba is the one to find the open. Sonic still hiding, swings off the flash, doesn't get a kill though. Instead, George to find a trade, and Walco to find another infinite dink down at range. The second towards Graffiti is Stanislaw, and he's not found much success as of yet either. George drops 1, leaving just Slight and Infinite. Infinite being low on HP. Pull off the retake.
There's the first for Slight, and he spotted out George. Misses the shots. Junior trying to take long-range P250 taps. Not connecting it. There's one for George up in the pit. Slight with 1 more tap. 2 more tap. What the heck was that last shot from Slight? That was beautiful. They peek him 1 by 1. He does a little peek at himself, and that last shot was stellar from Slight. Holy cow, that was clean.
That round given to him, it was a difficult shot to hit, but it's a shot that he will not miss. Surgical with a pistol and the op. He has overtaken Infinite, who had a very solid showing in half number 1. Slight, though, with the op, with the pistol, even with the rifle here and there, is looking incredibly strong for this Wildcard side. Again, the lone player retained as the roster swapped, proving to be worth that endeavor here and now versus EG. He already has the op in hand going into the second round of this second half. EG, they're going to go for a force buy as well, thanks to that bomb plant. 3 Galils, a Mac 10, and a Tech 9. Slight needs to be careful not to get overrun by these weapons.
Well, now they know it's there, and knowing is half of the battle, Nate. But do they continue to push the op? I don't know. You might think about rotating out here if you are EG, and JVA is going to push in from sewer and he's going to take down automatic. And Infinite will swing for the second. They're just getting caught like fish in a barrel outside Monster. Not a single response from EG. Not even really a reaction from them either. They're kind of just flopping about Magikarp use splash kind of response right now. And there's JBA to pick up another freebie, this time on to Junior. George will finally respond with something. Hext will look to do a little bit of work outside of comp. There's angles on him, and he's going to actually be able to get the first and does not take a lot of damage. They can back away and take this one somewhere else. Slight is in water. They seem to know this, but Stan is making his way in towards construction, keeping an eye on that door. Creeping now. Oh, did Hext not see the knee? No, that was X-ray. They don't expect Stan there. It's up to George in a 1v3. Backstab 1. Knife out up there. 8-6 for Wildcard.
They convert their pistol round. They keep the op up in Slight's hands. They now send EG towards a save round. Maybe a Deagle or 2. No, Hex is dropping a Galil, so we are going to see another investment coming from EG. Feel like they got close enough in that round to justify a force buy yet again. I say that. The only person investing is Hex. He's down to 950. It's automatic. Only buys armor. It's kind of a half buy. It's kind of... I'm not sure what to make of this investment for EG. Maybe they're banking on a bomb plant or something similar to round out the investment going forward. Regardless, Wildcard is facing choices. Maybe the auto shotgun for Stanislaw. It's only good for 1. That dropped Galil, that hero Galil, finds a quick trade to keep things even in the early going.
Even Steven. 4 piece. Smoke's a bit late. Automatics already flashing. Automatics. They're not waiting for this. They're not ready for it at all. JBA does get 2 from Pillar before George can trade. The automatic Galil is resting on the ground. George and Hext. No armor, no utility behind this. But a bomb plant and a 2v2. Hext has salvaged one of those Galils, one of those guns that's been dropped. George on nothing but a P250, though. This is an awkward spot to be in for him. If he can get the double dink on the slide, it would be magical. He can't even get anything, though. A tab and a damage, and Hex, and a monumental stature required from him. Drops down, making all the noise at Slight. Hex is still getting around. Sonic! He's going to be the one to get him on the railing, and there's a 3-round lead for Wildcard, their biggest lead of the game. It is their map pick. Boy, have they answered the call here. I was thinking EG would have a bit of an advantage coming into this one, just given the fresh roster of Wildcard, but the individuals, and Sonic in particular, looking fantastic.
All the individuals aren't doing bad for Wildcard, excluding... You say Santa's also doing bad, but he's the IGL. He's the one masterminding everything. Kind of discount that.
Infinite, I would say JVA's not having great.
He's not doing great, but he's also playing more supportive than you would expect. He's throwing flashbangs. He's playing around the pillar, second contact. He's doing all sorts of different things that aren't necessarily putting him in that pole position. Infinite has had a game. Sonic's had a game. Slight, of course, has had a game with this op. He's really coming alive on the defensive side. And Wildcard, I like this kind of aggressive posture they've been taking throughout this early second half. Going for peaks, going for aggression. Has worked out. Though, it's time for them to get aggressive up towards short. 1-for-1 with the IGL. Infinite maintains an advantage. Dennis, while on the sandbags, finds a very esoteric angle that does not get respected. 3 versus 2 retained. Junior on an op. This is a very difficult weapon to use in this kind of situation.
George is going to have to create some space for him. And he's stuck out short. He's watching for a flank, but there's no flank to come. Everybody's on the site proper. In towards pit or back towards green. This is Redborn now. Great flick from Junior as he takes a dink. In comes Sonic, though. And Junior cannot flick those players twice. Stan is low, but he's the one playing a bit more safe. That nade for George. He can do it all if he can find Sonic first. And there's a nice little timing from Sonic. Peeks around the other side of the pillar. And George will drop. 10 rounds to Wildcard. EG yet to call the tactical timeout, Nate.
No timeouts at all in this map thus far.
We had a bit of a tech pause for like the briefest moment at the beginning of half 2.
I don't count that.
Also, Wildcard haven't really needed to call attack because they got 6 rounds out of their T half. They got 5. They did more than enough on their T side. Now it's the easy side of this map, and they could just sit back, relax, and enjoy the Slight show.
The only time I would say call a timeout for them is right after you let the time get away from you. That's the only time I would say it's justifiable, but
they made
obviously
the quick
rectified
fix.
that issue. Yeah, they made a quick fix, which is what I was surprised about because that was my biggest gripe with them before when they were Forsaken.
And they would get bailed out by Danny a ton. 60 for those unaware. And
yeah,
he was a big reason why they won a lot of those late rounds because he would just find openings.
Back to the round at hand, EG finally forced onto a save, some pistols, a pair of Galils, but everybody has about 1,500 or above in the bank with a loss bonus. That will be ample cash. They've been probing around, but they haven't been probing in the right spots. Wildcard getting water control after it's been vacated. This is a very solid mid-round call from them as they will now see this crossing in towards Monster. Java finds one. Java not a second, though. The Galil combines fire with Hex. And now Infinite's alone in towards water, blind and done. No chance for him to find anything. The Molotov will delay, but EG have the advantage, and they have the rifles now to back up their bark.
Stanislaw might have an opportunity for 2. He does get the 1, but he cannot convert it onto the second. Sonic as well goes 1 for 1. It's Slight in the 1v2, but of course it's Slight. And you cannot count this man out the way he's been playing. 2.0 KD and a chance for more. Out on the balcony, spotted by Junior, misses the shot on the jump, drops on down, makes a little bit of noise, takes a little bit of damage. He's going to keep on going. Runs over, jumps onto the railing, up over the box. He's trying to run and go with the op, and Hex will deny that opportunity. Junior will grab the op. EG will snag a the first of this half, really, and cut the lead from 4 to 3. But, geez, it seems like it's been more than a long time coming for EG, and they kind of got a little bit lucky winning 1-for-1 trades all the way through the site. There was no multi-kill from Wildcard, and that's what gave EG an opportunity. But look at the money for the CT side. It's absolutely disastrous.
Yeah, while Wildcard have won rounds consistently, they've also lost quite a few players consistently. 3 to 4 players going down in majority of the rounds they won in the second half. That does not make a good CT economy. So with that one loss, they are sent a tumbling. Deagle 5-7s, M4, and Scout. We've seen a worse buy win rounds in this very map. The question is, will this be one such round for Wildcard? Slight. Like that post with the Scout. In fact, I would say the Scout probably a better weapon in the round prior, given how he was running around with it. We'll have to see if he can do some damage in this one versus the rifles proper. Slower play from EG, respecting all the angles. George will find the opening. Good trade, though, from the hero rifle on Sonic. Keeps things at even footing.
In they go to B. Flashes in, but JBA will dome the first. Now it's man advantage for Wildcard here, making a double, but only for a brief moment as it's salvaged back to a 2v2 by EG. But it's still not good for them. It's a winnable situation for their opposition, and more importantly, their economy is getting tattered by the wind of Wildcard. Junior has the bomb on his back. No utility to wall off short. He's gonna plant the edge of the smoke. He's done. Never mind. Hex has his back, but that was the most risky plant spot he could have picked there. Yeah, they know where Slide is at least. He should not have much to do with a scout. But EG are scraping by here in these round victories. They're not confident at all. Wildcard making it work with the pistols and nothing else.
Making it costly. Much like EG did in the round prior. It's been a scrappy game thus far, and I expect this series to be scrappy as well. Slight electing to save the scout. No, actually, I'm going to go for a rifle at long. George did go down there earlier in the round. There's an AK there, if I'm not mistaken. That, with Kevlar, will give his team something to work with in the following round, which should be a save. EG, though, they're now within 2. They're whittling away at the lead. Wildcard established, but the economy of neither team's in a good spot. It's still going to be difficult for EG if they meet some resistance.
And with Slide escaping with an AK, that resistance is definitely going to be there. P250, 5.7, 2 USPs in Sonic and JBA's hands. That aforementioned Kalashnikov for Slide. He's the one who's the tip of the spear right there. And he's going to get automatic out towards water. That's a good opening kill for Wildcard. Now more guns to grab. In comes Hex, though he'll trade that back to the AK. Drop on the ground. JPA and Infinite, who's now picked up the one that's fallen. Ooh, Hex has made boys burning in his own fire. Back away. Helmet down to half. Oh yeah, he's no helmet. And Sonic is a body shot kill on the Walco. Junior trades it, but again, the resistance, Nate, it's far too strong. And EG are suffering. They're hemorrhaging. Wildcard in a winnable situation again.
It's a good spiral, especially with Hex on low HP and connector. If Stanislav flanks him, this is an easy kill. That's another rifle picked up that could be very consequential in this one. Stanislav not looking in the right direction. Almost finds George. He's going to be blindsided. Hex gets the kill. That is a big one to find. If Stanislav played his cards differently, of course, he didn't have the luxury of information, but had he known, it could have been a very different outcome. 2 versus 3. Infinite still paranoid about a B play, but in fact, EG are just biding their time towards back bathrooms, hoping to goad in another early engagement, another preemptive engagement. We'll finally make the decision to go towards A. Both players here to defend. Infinite on an AK, but again, no Kevlar, no kit, no utility. Booth has to be worth quite a bit here. 1-2, secured on the spray. Infinite makes it workable. He makes it doable. It's just Junior. He's towards map. He swings in to try and plant, but Infinite comes through. No time. The round is done. Infinite has done it all. 3 kills to boot, adding insult to injury. And Wildcard now 2 away from taking map number 1.
Holy moly. Infinite pops off for a massive round again. He's been stellar as well. Slight, Infinite, and Sonic have been the players to watch in this map. And boy, does he deliver win Wildcard. Not necessarily need it, but when it really turns that knife in the gun of EG, that twists it, adds the pain, it widens the wound, it puts EG in a desperate buy with 2 Galil, 3 Galils, the AK and the op. This is Wildcard's pick, but the way they're playing right now with Mirage as map number 2, everyone knows Mirage. I don't know, it's not boding well for EG in this series. They still have not got a timeout either. That's a good little double nade onto Infinite, who's lucky to be alive out of that, but he's got his work done in the last round. He can let his teammates take the reins this time. EG, what is your game plan now? What is your opportunity to strike? What is your decision to make? Sonic, he can double up here. He's hearing all the footsteps. Sprays down one. Half damage onto another. Slight goes missing on that opportunity. He's going to be flashing out here now as utility flies. He gets that one blind through the wall! Are you kidding me? Besides picked up 2! He swings out for a 3rd! And he lands it too! Looking for the last! He's got the right idea. Goes back to bathroom. Trying to flush EG out of this map. Slight has done an amazing bit of work back dice. EG rolling on the A take. And they get stonewalled by one lone Opper. Infinite pops off in the round prior. And Slight wants a little bit of that glory. Oh, man. I guess anyone can't complain about using the op in CS2 now because Slight has just shown what's possible.
Complete shutout on the A site from the op. 3 kills, sure the first one was a little bit lucky. The other 2, though, were anything but straight finesse on the operator. Finds to go after time? No. Before the round ends, but it's a bit of BM, 12-8 secured. And that is a convincing round victory as well, with 4 players surviving. That built up a little bit of resiliency on the CT side if required. But again, given the way they're playing, I don't think they'll need it. We finally see a timeout pried out from EG. It's right at the dying embers of this first map. Again, 12-8, 4 map points for Wildcard. And Boggs, I know you don't write down stats for old global offensive games. And so you don't have any stats on Forsaken or the new Wildcard squad. But do you know who they played last on that map?
EG.
They played Liquid, and they won 19-17.
Oh!
Yeah.
And EG picked it.
Yeah. It's been like 4.5 months. Played it early October.
Well, that's like a month and a half, dude.
Yeah, it's a month and a half. That's still quite the performance for them.
Yeah, that's not long ago either.
And you have to expect them to only get better with their time. And Mirage is a map where you can kind of get shut out, as we talked about. Things not looking good for EG going forward.
Not at all. Quite the contrary. This is looking phenomenal for Wildcard. For EG, not so much. Galil's on 5. This is about not quite your worst case scenario, but you know when you're desperate, you're buying Galils. When every single person on your team has a Galil and nobody has a full belt of util, you know what's really bad? You're not in for a good time. And
one player's lacking a helmet.
No utility either. No
Yeah,
helmet,
exactly.
no util. Could have gone for like a Mac 10, might have even been better. There's one for Slight. What more can he do, Nate?
Put the round now. Second missed, but still time to recover. Player on site. Slight won't swing him. Scores long. He's finally overran. Stanislaw, though, ready to trade. Stanislaw, another. It's the IGL's turn to wake up. 2 is enough. He's finally put to bed, but the advantage remains with his team. Junior trying to bail them out. Gets one. Flank, though, very timely, and it could be paced well with JBA towards spawn. Infinite bathrooms, blindsides one. He wants them both. He wants them all. He'll find the first. He'll find the second. That's the round. That's the map. 13-8 for Wildcard on their own map pick as they send EG reeling backwards now on to Mirage.
Only 2 rounds for EG on the T side of Overpass, and just the way in which they lost some of those rounds, they were destroyed by one individual or another. Multi-killed with not a hope of a trade. The spacing